Tonight, the Moxie is very pleased to be starting a partnership with the Gillioz Theatre. We'll be partnering to buy a 35mm projector and restore the current screen that is in place so we can start showing larger films here, classic films, things of that nature. And we're also showing the wonderful film festival documentary, Preserve Me a Seat, which we thought was a perfect fit for this event, and hopefully everyone will enjoy it.
The theater was built in 1926 as a grand movie palace. The Gillioz Theatre was built by a road builder, M.E. Gillioz. He built it like a road and bridge. It's concrete, steel, rebar, and that's why it's survived as it has. It was built on Route 66. The same year that Route 66 began is the same year that the Gillioz Theatre started. Now, as far as the history of the struggle to save the theater, it's $10 million and it's taken us 16 years to get to this point. In 1980, the theater was abandoned. The seats were taken out, the cushions removed and just thrown in the lobby. There were homeless people who were sleeping on the cushions, dead pigeons, needles, broken liquor bottles. It was a disaster. In the lobby area, there was a 55-gallon oil drum, had wood in it. People would keep warm with that. It was disgusting. Because it had had a roof put on it in 1980, when we got it in 1990, it was weather-tight. And because it was built as it had been of concrete, steel, and rebar, it still was solid, even though it had had 10 years of vagrants in it. And then 16 years later, $10 million later, we have a grand and glorious theater.
It's certainly beautiful.
It is wonderful.
We just opened last October of 2006, and it's been a very tough work for the board themselves. They've been a working board, not just a policy-making board. So since 1990, we've had people in here trying to make it happen. So 16 years later, we're glad to say, you know, here we are open. And now we're open as a public facility, a rental facility. So we're going to show movies and plays, productions, theater, seminars, pretty much anything that we can offer in the arts section to downtown Springfield to really help reinvigorate what once was and try to recreate that again.
What advice could you possibly give to people in other cities who maybe have a theater that's been closed down that they want to try to organize and save? And do you have any words of encouragement or advice?
I think it's probably been one of the most satisfying and rewarding projects that I've ever been involved in. There has been a really tight-knit group who has made this happen. Everyone on our 15-member board is a person with a passion and persistence, and each person is willing to pick up their piece of whatever it is that needs to be done and do it. It truly is a team effort that requires passion and persistence, and that's what I'd say. If you've got the vision and you've got the ability, you can make it happen. But it takes time and it takes money, and you've got to be willing to spend the time, to take the time, and to do whatever you need to make the money work.
It's an uphill battle, preserving theaters, because usually the size of the theater makes it a large investment financially, and you know, not only to acquire the building, you're also going to have to bury a lot of money in there just to restore it. So I have a lot of respect for people who do it, and even more respect for people who are successful doing it. Theaters to me are almost like my church, my altar, and these giant temples, movie palaces. The more of them there are, the better, and it's just such a shame to see beautiful theaters torn down. I've seen several historic theaters, and this one is very, very impressive.
And we would not be here without the community's help. You know, private and public and even some state and government has really poured money into this project because they could see the vision of what it was that we wanted to do. And without their help, we obviously would not be here today. And even since we've opened, you know, everybody's just, when can I get in? I want to see it. We have people knocking on the door every day. We want to come in and see the theater. And anytime we open for any of it, we've just had a great response for people, and just the support has been so encouraging for all the work we put in.
And judging from the crowd behind us, it sounds like there's going to be a good turnout for tonight.
Absolutely, we're very excited.